Let me describe a moment you might recognize. You open your phone, you scroll for a few seconds, and suddenly it hits you. Someone just got promoted. Someone else is launching a business. Someone your age just bought a house, moved cities, got married, or figured it out. And there you are, still questioning, still adjusting, still feeling like you're behind. Not lazy, not doing nothing, but somehow not where you should be. And the worst part? From the outside, you are growing, you're learning, you're becoming more self-aware, you're shedding old patterns. Yet inside, it feels like everyone else got a head start and you missed the signal. So you start asking quiet questions you don't always say out loud. Why does it feel like I'm moving slower than everyone else? Am I wasting time? Did I mess something up earlier in life? Here's the promise of this video. Feeling behind does not mean you are behind. In fact, very often it means the opposite. Today we're going to unpack why this feeling shows up, what's actually happening in your mind and nervous system, and how to tell the difference between real stagnation and invisible growth. And I want you to hear this clearly from the start. This video is not about motivation. It's about orientation. Let's begin. Feeling behind is often a sign of internal growth. Here's the reframe that changes everything. Most people measure progress by visible milestones, titles, money, speed, certainty. But there's another kind of progress that doesn't show up on timelines or resumes. It happens inside. And here's the paradox. The more internal growth you're doing, the more behind you can feel. Why? Because you're no longer running on autopilot. You're questioning paths instead of blindly following them. You're unlearning instead of accumulating. You're recalibrating instead of rushing forward. That pause can feel like failure, but it's often a sign that your system is updating. Think of it like this. You're not stuck, you're reconfiguring. Mechanism explanation. Your brain is rewriting the map. Let's talk about what's happening biologically and psychologically. The brain loves clear scripts. Your brain likes predictability. When life follows a script, school to job to promotion to stability, the brain feels safe, even if that script isn't right for you. But when you start growing psychologically, something changes. You begin to see your old goals don't fully fit, your values are shifting, the next step isn't obvious anymore. This creates a strange sensation. You feel lost, but you're actually between maps. Neuroscience shows that during periods of identity growth, the brain is literally weakening old neural pathways while building new ones. That process feels like confusion, slowness, self-doubt, not clarity. So if you feel behind, ask yourself this: am I actually stagnant or am I reorganizing? Now, let's add another layer. Comparison distorts time perception. Social comparison doesn't just affect mood, it affects how your brain perceives time. When you compare your internal process to someone else's external outcome, your brain compresses their journey and stretches yours. It looks like they moved fast, you moved slow, but you're not seeing their doubts, their false starts, their internal cost. You're comparing your behind the scenes to their highlight reel, and your nervous system believes the story. Why this feeling is common in thoughtful, self-aware people. This feeling tends to show up in certain kinds of minds. You might relate to some of these. 1. You think before you commit. You don't just jump into paths because they're available. You ask, is this aligned? Will this cost me later? Is this really mine? That slows visible progress, but it reduces regret. Unfortunately, society rewards speed more than discernment, so you feel behind even while making wiser choices. 2. You're shedding old identities. Growth isn't always additive. Sometimes it's subtractive. You're letting go of who you thought you had to be, expectations that didn't fit, roles you outgrew. That creates a temporary vacuum, and vacuums feel like emptiness, but they're actually space. 3. You're developing internal standards. Earlier in life, progress was simple. Do the thing, get the reward. But now, your inner bar is higher. You don't want just success, you want coherence. And that takes time.
How to tell if you are actually growing? Let's make this practical. Here are tools to help you orient yourself when the "I'm behind" feeling shows up. Tool 1. Switch from timeline thinking to trajectory thinking. Instead of asking, "Where should I be by now?" ask, "Is my direction more aligned than it was a year ago?" Growth isn't about position, it's about trajectory. Even small course corrections matter over time. Tool 2. Track invisible progress. Start noticing progress that doesn't show up publicly. For example, you recover faster emotionally, you set better boundaries, you tolerate uncertainty better, you understand yourself more clearly. These are not soft skills. They are foundational. They shape every future decision you make. Tool 3. Separate pace from worth. Your pace is not a moral issue. Slower does not mean worse. Different does not mean deficient. Repeat this to yourself when needed. My speed reflects my process, not my value. Tool 4. Ask better diagnostic questions. Instead of, "Why am I so behind?" try, "What am I preparing for that isn't visible yet?" Or, "What am I learning that will compound later?" Better questions create better interpretations. A metaphor that helps: the bamboo effect. There's a story often told in psychology and education. Bamboo spends years growing underground, no visible progress. Then, suddenly, it shoots up, fast. From the outside, it looks like overnight success, but the foundation took years. Many people feel behind right before a visible shift, not because they failed, but because their growth was root first. Warnings and caveats: when this feeling might signal something else. Now, a grounded reality check. Sometimes feeling behind can signal an issue, but not the one you think. If you're chronically burned out, burnout can mimic growth pauses. If you feel exhausted, cynical, emotionally flat, the issue may be recovery, not direction. If you have ADHD or high sensitivity, your growth may happen in bursts, not lines. Periods of intense learning followed by rest can look like inconsistency, but they're not failure. They're rhythm. If you're avoiding decisions out of fear, this is important. There's a difference between thoughtful waiting and fear-based avoidance. The key question: am I pausing to integrate or pausing to avoid discomfort? Be honest, not harsh. Psychological support. You're not late, you're early in a different way. I want to speak directly to you for a moment. If you feel behind, it doesn't mean you missed your chance. It often means you refused to live someone else's life just to feel on time. That takes courage. You are building internal clarity, emotional literacy, and long-term alignment. These don't pay off immediately, but they pay off deeply. And one day, you may look back and realize the people who rushed ahead were early, but you were on time for your life. Let's summarize. You feel behind because growth disrupted your old script. Comparison distorted your perception. Your values matured before your milestones did. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're transitioning. Your job is not to catch up. Your job is to keep orienting toward what's true.
If this video helped, here are next steps. Watch The Psychology of People Who Feel Lost Between Phases. Download How to Track Growth You Can't See Yet, or simply apply one tool this week. And remember this, you are not behind. You are becoming. And that process is rarely loud, fast, or obvious, but it is real. You're allowed to trust it.